Meanwhile, let's talk a little bit about Edward Snowden. He does appear to still be stuck in Russia. Now, this is interesting. He told, apparently, the South China Morning Post, a newspaper over there, that he took that job with Booz Allen, the security contractor that paid $120,000 a year. Even though he'd been working for the NSA for $200,000 a year, he took it specifically so that he would have access to the computers that would give him the lists of all the computers around the globe. So it looks like he took that particular job just so that he could get the thumb drive to spill all the beans.
Peter, would he be under additional charges if the intent, if it wasn't just a whistleblower that he decided, oh my gosh, I saw something and I have to say something, but that he actually willfully wanted to get the job so he could
absolutely.
get it? The law change?
No, the law is the same, but you go to the right point. Intent. And so when he says to this newspaper that I intentionally did this, it was my plan to do this, that perhaps I was outraged by the policy that I was aware of to begin with, and I wanted to get evidence of it, yeah, that's huge. That's absolutely huge in terms of pursuing conviction in this case. And what it does is change the dynamic big time. A lot of people said, well, I think he's a patriot. I think he's a constitutionalist. I think he's speaking up for the rights of privacy in America. But then we see this globe-trotting trip to Russia, China, all our enemies, and then this new revelation that somehow he infiltrated this company and the NSA on purpose.
Well, at the same time, maybe he had seen so much at the NSA when he was working for the government, maybe he thought, all right, if I'm going to be a whistleblower, I got to go over there and I got to get the master key, and to do that, I got to do that. So clearly, he did have a plan. And right now, the United States plan is, since he appears to be in Russia, we behind the scenes, back channel, as they say in State Department terms, we're telling Russia, you've got to give him back to us. Apparently, they've already talked to the countries of China, and they talked to Hong Kong, and they said, you got to give him up to us. But at this point, it looks like Mr. Putin holds all the cards and is making us look bad.
Well, and they also said that on the application for the extradition, that when the United States filled out the paperwork, that the Chinese said, well, unfortunately, you were missing a form or you forgot to tick a box, and therefore, what could we do? That sounds a little suspicious to me, and I think even the White House yesterday, through Jay Carney, said this is changing and this is a step back in relations.
A little weak, Secretary of State John Kerry and even former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton have been critical of Russia and China, saying that there's going to be retaliation, there's going to be an effect.
But like what kind of retaliation?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's a good point.
Go to your room.
I'm sure that Putin is shaking in his boots.
Yeah,
I also I have a feeling, though, that Putin might hold on to him long enough.
Absolutely.
Just long enough so that he could get all the PR that he needs for his internal audience in Russia and other places throughout the world where he is exerting influence. And then he'll give him back to Obama and exert some sort of price. Unfortunately, the price that we are paying, it feels like, is our pride.
Well, and as was depicted at that summit where those two, they looked like they were just told, eat your peas, it was frosty. It was chilly. Clearly, right now, Mr. Putin has the upper hand, and Lindsey Graham was on with Greta last night and said, look, the reason we're in this sad state of affairs is because even though we once were mighty, we have fallen.
This is Exhibit A of how far we've fallen as a nation in the eyes of the world. Our friends are unsure about us, and our enemies no longer fear us, and seems that nobody respects us. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama came into office, and they were going to clean up the world after Bush. Bush was this big ogre. It made the world a very bad place. And Obama was going to give speeches, and Hillary was going to reset with the Russians. Well, we have reset with the Russians. We're in 1965. Who would you pick in a stare-down contest between Putin and Obama? Our enemies have absolutely no respect for us. If you wanted to understand how relationships are between Russia, the United States, and China, Snowden tells you all you need to know. They have failed in securing our national security and securing us as a nation. They have failed to earn respect.
So what they probably will do is Russia will hold on to them for a little while, and I read in one of the columns today, they're going to let the United States stew in our own juices. Yeah, and meanwhile, reporters are getting on every flight out of Russia just in the off chance that Snowden will be on it.
It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be one of those reporters. They said that there was no food, no alcohol from the flight from Moscow to Cuba. That's a long way to go. Well, no alcohol for reporters. That would be